Excellency, thank you so much for seeing us today. My first question is this. Kenya's biggest exports are tea, cut flowers, refined petroleum, gold and coffee. How much of these are exported from Malaysia and what is the size of trade between both countries?
Thank you so much, Dr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Thank you to have you in this High Commission, this Chancery of the Kenyan High Commission. Yes, number one, I have to say that Kenyan trade with Malaysia, yes, the item you have mentioned are just part of the things that we are trading between Kenya and Malaysia. We have things like apparels, the products and stuff. We have cut flowers. In fact, Kenyan cut flowers is quite popular in Malaysia.
And what they are, roses?
Right here in front of you.
This is from Kenya.
Yes, Kenyan cut flowers. Yeah, in terms of what comes to Malaysia, I'll talk about it more in terms of the figures, the trade figures. I know you feel over years, from what you have captured in the data, you see a progression in trade between the two countries in all those products and still expanding. The only bit which you're trying to address is the trade imbalance, because it's more in favor of Malaysia. When we look at the data, of the latest data that we have, which is 2021, we find the exports from Kenya to Malaysia, it's about less than $20 million.
Okay.
When you look at the imports by Kenya from Malaysia, it's about in the slightly over $400 million. It's seriously imbalanced.
Yes, it is.
But again, what you've said, when you look at the trade volume, it's too low. From our own perspective, we've been thinking, fine, we need to have that balance, but can you talk more about increasing the trade volumes?
Yes. Yes.
Connecting business to business in terms of matching.
Yes.
Connecting traders and investors. Then, in due course, and with all factors constant, this will balance somehow.
Yes.
There's interventions here and there.
How can we do that? How can we increase the trade, in your opinion?
Number one for us, on our side, I think there's more on our side. We need to do more export promotion. Or we need to do business matching. We need to encourage investors in both sides to look at what business they can do and where they can do it. And you're looking at on our side also again in terms of diversification of our exports.
Yes.
And there's all I can talk about to address that. What the Kenyan government has done is we have come up with the driver, national development trajectory, 4 areas, 4 pillars, and we call them so. We call them the Big 4 agenda in the area of manufacturing, all around. Looking at affordable housing, universal healthcare, and food and nutrition security.
Okay.
And a lot of the government is investing a lot in these areas and facilitating business people, facilitating investors. We have what we call, the Can Invest. It's an investment vehicle that supports any investors coming to the country.
What kind of investors do you want from Malaysia? And if you have a wish list from Malaysia and from Southeast Asia as a region?
Specifically in those areas,
okay.
Manufacturing,
all right.
Any form of manufacturing.
Okay.
You're looking at affordable healthcare.
Yeah. And
affordable healthcare, even talk of, if you can have investors to invest in medical equipment, medical items, pharmaceuticals, and you can talk about vaccination right now. They're talking at the time of the COVID. It's an area that is very huge. You can look at affordable housing because the government has a target of putting up houses in order to cover the gap of housing in the country. Well, the target is about 500.
We should target PKNS because PKNS is affordable housing. They could be probably doing business in Kenya.
Yes. Yeah. They're looking at about 500,000 houses per year. That is what you're looking at. Yeah. So it's huge. We are looking so anything from building materials, and you're looking at cheaper building technologies, from materials to technology itself.
Every single aspect in the supply chain.
Yeah, exactly. They have everything, the supply chain. We are looking at affordable healthcare, universal healthcare. Universal healthcare, you're looking at, I'm talking about the manufacturing of the equipment probably. And we have a lot of them in manufacture such in Malaysia. You're looking at food and nutrition security.
Okay.
Food and nutrition security is another huge thing. And also Malaysia is also looking to Africa for its food security. And there's an area we can really partner. You know, we have huge tracts of land, Kenya and in Africa. And allow me to say, when you talk about Kenya, we also talk about the rest of Africa, so that you can see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
When you talk of Africa, when you talk about Kenya, you're looking at 50 million plus population.
Wow.
When you talk of expanding out of Kenya, you are looking at close to East African community, let's say.
Yeah.
You look and you can see the flag is right here. There's the East African community flag.
How many? What's the population of East Africa
community? With the entrance of DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, we are looking at close to about 400 million.
Oh my!
That's a huge population.
Yeah. And they're all connected.
They are connected.
It's like a common community.
Yes, it is.
So when you do business in Kenya, you're doing business with the East African community.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you expand even beyond that. Yeah. You're looking at 1.4 billion population. That is Africa.
Exactly.
That's huge. Yeah. And the resources that they are in.
And so much potential.
And a lot of potential. We are looking at a very youthful population across. And which is highly innovative. I'll be talking about innovations in Kenya, and it's something very interesting. That people, especially in the IT world, is an area that we should really be looking at. So basically, those are some of the areas that any investor willing to set base in Kenya. I've talked about Can you Invest will provide all these platforms for you to, facilitate how you come in and whatever you pick to do.
Are there any special incentives for foreign investors that Kenya offers?
Number one, you don't need to have Kenya. There's some countries where for you to start a company, you must have a local.
Oh, yes. In Southeast Asia, you don't have to.
Not a requirement, really.
So you can go in there and set up a business, 100% owned by 100%.
You. Repatriation of your profits.
What's the percentage of tax for? Let's say you set a business there, and if you have finances or funds going back, how much tax is that?
Just the normal taxes. Let's things like VAT is about 13%.
13%.
13%, yes.
So 13% tax.
The other taxes, they are favorable, so to speak. I must be honest on this. So there are quite a lot of those incentives. The government is also setting up special economic zones across the country.
So the tax is lower.
Exactly, to support
foreign investments coming in.
Foreign investments. There's zero rate in capital investment. For example, if you bring equipment and machineries, you're safe with it, and zero rated. Yes. So because you're looking at number one is to diversify exports. And also to create employment. Yes.
I see. Great. What are Kenya's most iconic or most attractive attractions to the world?
I think you're telling me to boast about ourselves.
Yes, I am.
I think one of the areas that I would really talk about, number one is hospitality and the friendliness of Kenya themselves. Number two is human capital is well developed. I think we are rating very highly in Africa and even globally in terms of the specialists from all sorts.
For ease of doing business, is
it? Yes.
Okay.
We are looking at Safari.
You must tell us about that.
Safari, and that's why I'm saying it with a smile. We have, I just mentioned the famous Masai Mara. Masai Mara. Yes.
Okay.
Masai Mara is being called or be referred to as the eighth wonder. Eighth wonder. You know, you have seventh wonder of the world.
Oh yes. Oh, the eighth wonder.
It's referred as the eighth wonder.
All right.
Why? Between the month of July, number one is very vast with all sorts of wildlife.
Okay.
The big five, you find them in one morning, you can find them at the same time.
Wow.
One morning.
Yeah.
From the month of July, August, September, these are wonderful moments. We have animal migration coming from Tanzania to Kenyan side.
I see.
Every year in, year out, that has
What month is it again, Ambassador?
Tanzania, Masai Mara.
From what month is the migration?
July, August, September.
July, August, September. Okay.
Yes. And they move in thousands and thousands.
Wow, that's a sight. It's a wonderful sight.
No visa.
Yeah.
Nobody stopped them, nobody bothered to stop them because they have to do that.
Yeah.
So you have that corridor of migration. And the beauty of it, I don't know, it's how nature balances itself. There are those that will not make it to the end because the predators on the way, waiting for them, preying on them. Yeah. And you have others that will born along the way. Yeah. And you have a river, it's called the Mara River. Yeah. So they must cross that river.
Yes.
Do you know who's waiting for them there?
Alligators.
Alligators, the crocodiles.
The crocodiles.
Waiting for them.
Yes. And the hippopotamus.
Yes, all of them. Yeah. But you see the danger to the migrating animals will be the lions, the leopards, and the crocodiles and the crows. Yeah. It's quite spectacular.
I think this is the basis of a lot of National Geographic photography. I've seen them crossing, and then you see the crocodile coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's marvelous, I have to say.
Yeah, it is the eighth wonder, because where else do you have that? Only in Africa.
Only in Africa, I'm telling you. And you'll see the big five. You have one of the big five there.
The lions, the elephants.
You have another one just behind you there.
Oh yes, the elephant.
And many others. You have all of them here. Just
what's the other three? The lion, the elephant.
The lion, the giraffe.
Giraffe.
The buffalo.
Buffalo, that's right.
And the elephant.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the big five. Now, outside safari, I can't fail to talk about sports.
Okay.
Specifically in athletics.
Okay.
And rugby. Those are some of our strong areas.
Oh, really? Rugby?
Yes,
so Kenya is known for its
rugby. Our
rugby
team has been performing very highly.
Wow.
Internationally and regionally. Athletics. Just a few weeks ago, our own Eliud Kipchoge he broke his own record on marathon in Berlin. Wow. This is a guy who has done under 2 hours marathon. Wow. The Ineo.
Yeah, remember? Kenyans are known for their extreme stamina. Absolutely. No one quite can beat them.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, the Maasais are from Kenya, right?
Maasais are from Kenya, cutting across to Tanzania. Yes, we are at the border.
Yes, border.
And they are one of, I think, they're one of our signature. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying Masai Mara, yes. Masai Mara.
So I as a kid, we've learned about the Maasais. They're very unique. They're tall. They are nature's natural athletes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is a safari. Then you have innovations. Kenya has really been leading. Yeah. Innovations, I can just pick one. I can talk about many. Mobile money transfer.
Mobile?
Money transfer.
Okay.
It's a Kenyan creation.
Oh, is it?
It is a Kenyan creation. The world picked the idea of mobile money transfer from Kenya.
Oh, well, this is something.
And it has grown in leaps and bounds as you're speaking. Sitting here, I can transact a lot with my worker in the farm, my worker in the house. I can just transfer money using my phone. And
it started in Kenya?
Yes. You'll have very few people, probably Kenyans, with accounts, bank accounts, but they have we call it M-Pesa.
Oh, that's fantastic.
M-Pesa.
M-Pesa.
That is the original, but you have others that come up. You have Airtel Pesa, you have Equitel Pesa, but M-Pesa is the real thing.
You're democratizing the ability to move money.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll have a person in the village. So long as you have a telephone line, your account is tied to your telephone number, your SIM card. Yeah. That will be your account. You can take a loan. We call it Fuliza, up to a certain amount. Just so long as you're registered.
Wow.
You just get whatever amount of money that you need.
It's fantastic.
We have what you call M-Shwari. M-Shwari, it's a virtual account. You know, whatever. And by the way, you can transact daily on one SIM card the equivalent of $3,000.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Equivalent.
Oh wow.
Every day.
How advanced.
Very advanced. You can link your account, you can link your M-Pesa account to your mobile money transfer account to your bank account if you have any. I don't need to call my bank and tell him I need to. No, I do my transaction sitting in my office here. Amazing. So many miles away.
Yeah.
And they have introduced what they're calling the Global Pay. Mm-hmm. So that's another area, and so many other innovations that Kenyans have done.
Yeah.
I cannot fail to talk about renewable energy and green energy.
Okay.
And especially in the area of geothermal power energy.
Yeah.
Kenya success story is this much. It's huge. We are regionally and globally we are highly rated in the top 10.
For what kind of geothermal? I see.
Wow. It's green energy. Green energy.
And it's natural.
One megawatt of geothermal will be used against to replace 1 megawatt of coal energy to get one ton of carbon.
How do you process geothermal energy? Just drill. Wow.
Just drill, and you know it's a resource that cannot be depleted. Number one. It's not, of course, solar energy and wind energy. They fluctuate.
Yeah, and you don't have to create big structures and all that, which adds to the landfill. You know.
In fact, leave alone the amount of land that you require for that is very, very minimal.
I think that's the perfect renewable energy.
Yes.
Kenya is blessed.
Yeah, in fact, we are around number 6 worldwide in terms of that area. We started this as far back as 1950. So it's not we have built capacity.
Yeah.
Right now we are helping Ethiopia to exploit their geothermal opportunities.
Such a blessed country.
Yes. Wind energy, we have gotten into wind energy also.
So it's a windy place?
We have the largest wind energy in Africa as you're speaking now. Yes. Solar, I think East and Central Africa are the largest, So that's another, in terms of renewable energy, so that we are contributing towards, greener world, greener energy, so to speak. Now, outside of this, we talk about our livestock. I think about it, I'm just salivating.
So they are different.
Oh yes, we're exporting a lot to Middle East, so that anybody with an issue about halal and stuff like that is not really an issue.
Is it cows?
It's both cattle, goats, and sheep.
All livestock.
Livestock. In fact, like our Kenya Meat Commission, forget about just talk about one. Kenya Meat Commission is doing about 500 tons per week in the Middle East.
Whoa.
We're looking at UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Egypt. On that other side, we are looking at Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda.
Yeah.
I mean, we are doing well. So that's another area that I feel it's quite it should be quite attractive. Coffee and tea.
Yeah.
What do I say about these two?
I would say the
best in the world. I would say it's one of the best in the world.
Are we going to have some Kenyan coffee later?
Yes. Yes. It's used to blend other types of coffees across the world. So basically, these are many that I can talk about, but many that I can talk about. But I think those suffices. Yes.
These are the best that it comes to your mind.
Yes.
I think Kenya is a very blessed country. I mean, today, talking to you, I know so much more about Kenya. Yes. Kenya always had an enigma.
And by the way, why you must visit? Let me tell you, if you're just
I'm definitely
if you're just transiting through Nairobi at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, let's say about a layover of let's say 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you need to see these animals you're talking about.
You can.
The only capital in the world that has a national park. Few kilometers away from.
Really?
It's a walking distance from the CBD.
Oh, really?
As
Goodness.
you're overflying.
Now, that's unusual.
As you're going to land at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, you're overflying Nairobi National Park.
Oh, wow. I thought you have to travel
If you're
to a
very keen, you can
state.
see the animals just moving up and about.
Fantastic. How much time is it from Malaysia to Nairobi, a flight?
Unfortunately, you don't have a direct flight and you're walking to answer. You see that is Kenya Airways. It's called KQ. That's what you call it.
All right. You can take it from here?
No, but it flies from Nairobi, Bangkok to Guangzhou. So we have a few routes that you can use. You can
go to Bangkok.
It's more direct from here. It's about 1.5 hours or 2 hours to Bangkok. Then from Bangkok to Nairobi, 9 hours.
So it's about 11 hours.
11 hours.
Just like going to London.
Exactly. The other routes would be from here to Doha, 7 hours, then another 5 hours or whatever. Or from KL, Dubai. The other routes. But the more direct one would be
Can tourists purchase tickets to the safari from here, or do we have to go to Nairobi?
No, you can purchase from here. You have some travel
agency.
Okay.
That's a must see. I think I have to recommend everyone. You have to go to Nairobi and see the safaris during the month of July, August, and September.
And see these Maasais jumping and dancing. It's amazing, honestly. To be honest, it's quite amazing.
Where else can you see it? Only in Africa.
It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. I mean, I was showing some. I'll show you after.
Yeah.
Just to tell you about the Nairobi National Park. Some years back, I think almost less than 10 years ago, these lions happened to break away from the park.
Sorry?
Lions.
Oh, okay.
They broke away from the park. And you can see them straddling along Mombasa Road. That is the road that takes you from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to CBD and beyond.
Yeah, wow.
And they're just walking along the fence.
Wow, oh my God, what a sight.
And Kenya started making fun. They're saying, wow, probably they are going for the Friday. They are going for outing, or they are going to make their hair. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yes.
Well, I'm definitely coming to Kenya.
Yes.
Sometime. Hopefully you're there, then I can say hello to you.
Absolutely.
So now we want you to tell us about yourself. How many countries have you traveled before coming to Malaysia as the ambassador of Kenya to Malaysia?
Now, this is very interesting bit here. I start by saying I'm not a career diplomat.
Okay.
That's not how I started my serving in the public. So I've been a public servant for over 30 years. I was in the security sector.
Oh, I see.
Yes. By the time I was appointed ambassador, high commissioner, I was a Kenya head of CID.
I can so believe that. When I look at your height and your build, I'm like, okay, it all falls into pieces. I can see the jigsaw puzzle pieces out.
But outside of that, I served in a Sierra Leone peacekeeping mission for 2 years. Which I feel there's a lot that we did. The director of CID, I served in the executive committee of Interpol. As a member of the executive committee of Interpol representing Africa for 3 years, 2014 to 2017. After I left, then I done my part as I served it for 8 years as a head of CID.
Oh, okay.
Then I was appointed by the head of state to represent Kenya in this mission. And it's been quite wonderful. Wow. Quite a transition.
Yes. Okay.
So this is my first mission.
Okay.
I'll probably retire after this.
No, you're too young to retire.
Thank you.
And you've been in Malaysia for how long?
I came to Malaysia on 12th of February 2019. Almost 4 years now. Yes.
4 years. 4 years.
I'm in my 4th year.
So will you end by next year?
Yes,
February?
my term ends in August next year.
August
but
next
again,
year.
These are presidential appointments.
So hope you stay?
If I'm told to go today, I just pack my things and say thank you. I serve my country well. If I'm told to stay even longer than that, you really can't go against that.
Do you like Malaysia?
Very much.
What do you think is? Name me 3 things that are the most appealing things about Malaysia.
Let me start by saying I've had a very, keen interest on the East as I'm growing up. So countries like Malaysia, I didn't know about them when I got here or when I was appointed or late in life. I knew about Malaysia way back. It's one of the countries that I've been looking up to because the people are lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you.
They're hospitable.
Yeah.
And you can walk around and
Yeah.
not having,
You feel
have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And interesting thing, I know that Kenyans in the service, in the military, were brought in to quell the communist insurgency.
Oh, you said during the communist insurgents?
Kenyans.
So we have a history.
Yes, we have a history.
Yeah,
Long history.
It's great.
Yes. And it's a great country, so to speak.
Thank you.
Yes.
Your Excellency, Africa is rising, and Kenya is definitely playing a major part of the unification.
Yes.
Tell us more about the future you see for Kenya as a global player and for a united Africa.
Kenya is a thought leader in so many areas. Kenya is a safe pair of hands. In most of our undertakings, we've been there for a united Africa, so to speak. We voted all the time with other member countries for the cause that Africa has identified, and the cause that Africa is taking. But why Kenya's role for United Africa will continue to expand and grow? Number one, Kenya believes in building bridges. Its building bridges initiative is a hallmark. That's where there are issues, Kenya want to step in and build a bridge between states, between nations. So we feel, Kenya will not just jump in and mess up the situation. Countries are
a peacemaker and a bridge builder.
Dealing issues, yes. Another to talk about peace. Regionally, the regional peace and security architecture. Kenya has been quite
it's always
involved.
been, that's historically involved.
Historically, we have nurtured, we have nursed some governments in Kenya. An initiative, of course, an African initiative, but driven by Kenya. We have hosted a government until it was the time for the government to go and settle down. We've been involved in a lot of the peace building efforts. Kenya has one of the most prominent international peace and support training school, right in Nairobi. Kenya hosts the headquarters of the East African Standby Force as a security peace and security architect of Africa. Kenya has served very well in the Peace and Security Council of the AU, so very well. So that's another area. In terms of peace support operations, Kenya has been quite involved within the country, within the region, and also internationally. We really supported peace operations by contributing troops. At some point, globally, we are number 13 in terms of the highest troop contributor.
Fantastic.
In support of peace operations. For years, Kenya has been a host of refugees, over 600,000.
From where?
From the region. The Horn of Africa, the Great Lakes region. That's a conflict system that Kenya has been host to. We're looking at South Sudan, the southern part of Ethiopia. We are looking at Somalia. On the other side, we have the Central African Republic, we have the DRC. There's a conflict system, and Kenya has hosted for many years. So in terms of humanitarian assistance, that's another, just to show Kenya is receptive to any person coming in. And if you're receptive to any person coming in, definitely we have a role to play in terms of how you can't accept. When you accept equity, it's an indication that you're a leader. You can embrace every other community.
Yeah. And you're a leader. You're making them. You're being proactive in solving a problem.
Absolutely. Another area is environmental conservation of the environmental issue. The environmental agenda is a matter that Kenya is quite seized of. Not forgetting that we are the only country in the south that hosts a UN office. UN office in Nairobi that hosts.
It's the only country in Africa.
Yes, in the south. We have the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP. And you're the Director General. You're on from Penang.
Really? Okay.
Yes, you're on from Penang.
Yeah.
Hosting, sitting there, we have the UN Habitat. And so, the fact that we are hosting such a critical UN organization is because of our engagement on environmental issues. Very, very hands-on. And we just celebrated UNEP at 50 last year. Yes, we celebrated that, and we have also partnered or co-chaired or co-hosted very critical conferences international. 2018 we co-hosted with Japan, Canada. We co-hosted the Blue Ocean Conference. This year we co-hosted with Portugal, the Ocean Conference. This year again we co-hosted with Sweden, Stockholm at 50.
Wow!
So we just in the forefront. I talked about the African Union. One of the flagship projects under the AU 2063 is called Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which was launched last year. It's operational, and the big idea is to boost intertrade in Africa. We are trading about 17% amongst ourselves with Africa.
Self-sustaining.
17% intertrade, and we are looking to boost that. So that we are doing more trade with outside regions, and we are not trading amongst ourselves.
Absolutely.
And you are told charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
And what is it that we lack in Africa? We have all the techs. We have there are few countries that have volunteered to lead in this process.
And they are?
They are called it's just the trade initiative,
Okay.
And those are going to be there from the 6.
Who are they?
Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Rwanda, Cameroon, Egypt, and Mauritius.
And Nigeria is not in it.
They come. These are the ones who are ready to take the leap.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes, we want to take the jump and dive in. In fact, last week, on 7th? On 7th, there was the flagging of our Kenya team to Ghana.
Oh, that's really good initiative.
Yes. A few weeks back, we flagged off quite a consignment of batteries. Batteries, the car batteries manufactured in Kenya. These are the countries to just, because of course it's a learning process. What are the issues? What are the fears? What are the concerns?
That's a great.
And you're saying these are like the guinea pigs. They're out there to just make sure it works.
Excellent.
And there are quite a few of.
Everything starts with the first step.
Exactly. Africa Export and Import Bank is really supporting this initiative in terms of the countries that are fearing, we are going to be losing our revenue, we are going to be,
Why would they think that they're losing revenue?
They've got the fears and concerns must be addressed. That is why you can't find every person jumping in to go on with the process. And one of our own bank is called Equity Bank. Equity Bank is an indigenous Kenyan bank which has very big plans. It has come up with what you're calling the Africa Economic Recovery and Resilience Plan, targeting 2 areas: agriculture and value addition, agriculture, agro-processing, the extraction industry, and value addition. And they are ready to support that. They've set up some finance to support this initiative. in those two areas.
Mhm.
And this has been, it's like our Africa Marshall Plan, which has been accepted by at many levels, at AU level, East African Community level, and they're doing quite a lot in terms of supporting. And in fact, what they're saying in this plan is about 6 objectives. But basically, can we be food secure as a continent? We have the vast of land, we have water all over, and why are we relying on some countries that are in conflict right now?
Exactly.
It's speaking to the whole the broken global chain out of COVID reality, and also out of the conflict, Russo-Ukraine conflict. And I'm proud to talk about an indigenous bank that has stepped out to really
I love it.
take its place in terms of addressing the Africa concerns. I know they're telling us, you are ambassadors out there. Look for investors.
Yes.
All we are requiring investors to bring in is their capital.
Yes.
We'll finance the rest of the stuff. There's about $700 billion US set aside for that. So, how else can we be thought leaders in bringing the Africans together? We stepped it out. We stepped out really. And Kenya, we have a presidency that is really Pan-Africanist. Believing that we are African problems need African solution.
Yes, I agree.
That why would I need a visa to go to an African country? So these are some of the conversations that are being addressed, and they're gaining traction, and people are starting to see how we need to trade with ourselves. The COVID-19 reality has sort of, you look at there are challenges, but they're bright aside from it. With the issue of the vaccine diplomacy and nationalism stuff. They say, come on, we can do this. What is it that we lack? How would we be selling our raw materials to go and do stuff when, for example, we are moving from, there's a push to move from fossil fuel vehicles to electric vehicles. And where the biggest percentage of cobalt that makes these batteries, where does it come from?
Congo. Kenya.
Yes.
Congo, right?
Congo, DRC.
Yeah.
And across Africa.
Yes.
We have everything. Why should we be selling our raw materials?
Yeah, why don't you create, manufacture, and then you have more value?
And that is where the Equity Bank is coming in.
I see it.
So that you are creating employment, you are generating revenue. For example, a tea bag, somebody said, a tea bag of, let's say in London, Four Seasons Hotel, the cost equivalent of our own money, 700 shillings. That's less than 50 ringgits, or about 50 ringgits. Whereas a kilogram of that tea leaf from the farm is like 2 tea bags. Those 2 tea bags. How many tea bags can you make from 1 kilogram? So you can imagine in terms of generating revenue, in terms of creating employment, in terms of ensuring that you are food secure. So this is a bank that stepped out.
Fantastic.
With an African Marshall Plan, not for Kenya.
For Africa.
The continent.
It's called the Equity Bank.
Equity Bank.
Equity Bank.
Equity Bank.
I think it's wonderful.
Equity Bank. And by the way, Norwegian Sovereign Fund got 14% of the bank.
Oh.
Just imagine.
14%. Is that a good thing?
Oh, yes. I mean,
will you still have the African sovereignty?
It is there. The point is, somebody believes in the bank.
Okay.
It's like
as long as the Equity Bank still is for Africa and not allowing the.
It's 100%. Apart from this time when the Norwegian Sovereign Fund coming in, and even our bank has bought some shares out of it. Yeah. So it's a mark of confidence.
That's good.
It's a mark of confidence for me. Yeah. But it's just still focused as a bank that want to get involved in uplifting the space and the sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the future is very bright.
Very
for
bright.
Africa and for Kenya
Very
driving
bright.
it.
Somebody said
Yeah.
the bright is very future.
Sorry,
Somebody said the bright is very future.
who said that?
Don't want to talk about some big shot somewhere. Yeah, it was just yes.
Yeah,
So that is how I'm saying that Kenya has taken its place in terms of what it can do for a united Africa.
Yeah.
With a lot of commitment from the political
Yes.
leadership.
Yeah. We need a lot of political will to make this work. The right people with the right mindset.
And by the way, did you know, at times when you look at that map of Africa,
Yeah.
it looks like this,
It is too small.
but it isn't.
It isn't, right? Something is wrong with the map.
Do you know how from Kenya on the eastern coast
Yeah.
to, let's say, Lagos,
Uh-huh.
it will take me non-stop 8 hours.
It's within Kenya itself.
Africa.
Africa. From?
From east, this point, Nairobi, let's say, from Nairobi,
Okay, from
to
Nairobi.
Lagos, Nigeria. From East Africa to West Africa,
It takes you 8 hours.
8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, non-stop. You're still on the same continent.
Mm.
So if I'm flying from Cape Town, for example, to Rabat
Mm-hmm.
or Casablanca
Mhm.
in Morocco,
Mm-hmm.
close to 10 hours. On the same continent.
Mm.
So
Then
it's
this
a
is
vast,
very grossly disproportionate.
very disproportionate.
And why did they do
Those
that?
who can say that for speculation. Those who are on the know will tell you America will fit in Africa, Europe will fit in Africa, and a few other countries. will
At
fit
the
in
same
Africa.
time, you can fit America
Yes.
and Europe in Africa.
Yes.
Oh
So
my
whatever
God.
narrative being pushed,
So
it's
that's
just,
a terribly disproportionate map
it
that
is,
we
it
are
is.
using.
So that's Africa for you.
When does Africa plan to produce its own map? Global map.
That should be the
Yeah, we should.
work in
This
progress.
is the real map, and
Yes,
here you
yes,
go,
yes,
go and
yes, yes,
buy
yes.
this map instead.
But with a lot of resources. I've just said 1.4 billion population,
Yeah.
not forgetting the diaspora.
Exactly.
Those who are elsewhere.
Exactly.
And the young population,
Yeah. Yes.
and resources of all sorts.
Yes.
Name them,
Yes.
from oil to gas,
Everything comes from Africa.
land, water.
Africa, would you agree, is the richest continent in
By
the
the
whole
way,
country. The
in
whole
Kenya,
world. Yeah.
there's an aquifer,
It's
underground water that was discovered some years back.
uh-huh.
Millions and millions of, billions and billions of cubic meters that would last 70 years.
Really.
All down there. So Africa is endowed, and Africa is rising.
Yes, Africa is rising, which is why I'm very honored to be here and talking to you,
Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
Excellency, the Ambassador of Kenya,
Thank you.
and you've given us so much insight. Now, before we leave, tell us, is there a message to Southeast Asia? I wouldn't say just Malaysia, Southeast Asia from Kenya, from you. What is the message you have for them?
The message I would have for Malaysia and generally Southeast Asia, Africa, Kenya, Africa is a safe pair of hands that you can work with on any issue. Maybe trade, maybe investment, maybe peace and security. We have the same trajectory, so to speak. When we look at our history, I just mentioned that our own fought here, the insurgency, a communist insurgency. Our soldiers fought in Burma during the World Wars.
Yeah.
There's a lot in common for us, and let's see and reach out for the good of our people and build bridges, close the gaps, and see what opportunity that sits there and make use of them.
Yeah.
In the meantime, as you're saying that everybody is running to Africa, so to speak. Yes, there's a talk of the second scramble for Africa. Those are traditional partners. We have our history, but we have more. We have things that are more common and that are almost similar in Southeast Asia. So I'm telling the leadership within the region to rise up, let's look at the preferential treatment that can be given to both sides.
Yes.
There's a lot of room to do business. Yeah. There's a lot of room to create wealth for shared prosperity for the both regions.
Yeah. I think we should have a dialogue between the East African community and Southeast Asian community.
Absolutely.
We should.
Absolutely.
There's so much we can do together.
Absolutely. And I'll just expand even beyond East Africa community. Africa.
Yeah.
That conversation, the time is now, not tomorrow. There's a lot of untapped.
Yes, I agree.
What you have and you don't have, and what you have and you don't have.
Absolutely. We complement each other.
Complementarity, that was what we need to look for. So I urge the people and the leadership in this region to find that space.
Yes.
And exploit it.
We'll do it.
The sky is the limit.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yes.
Thank you, Ambassador. Southeast Asia is behind you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Beatrice.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Really appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.